I am 80% sure that what's in this box is going to be the focus of today's video. There's two things in this box. Oh, that is unrelated. There's three things in this box. This is the core. Aha. Unless I've made some sort of mistake, this is what blows air in a 2004 Toyota 4Runner. We're gonna fix my wife's car. I've never done this before, but one time while working on my truck, I did identify this part, and it was here under the glove compartment. Can you show here? Somehow I got to it under that. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get to it, but we're gonna take things apart until we see it. All right, I don't have a fixed game plan here, but this thing seems like the sort of thing I'll have to remove. All right, check this out. Joy of joys. It's right there. That's how easy it is to get it. I think that is that, right? I got it? Cool. You know, I'm not sure I've properly described the problem we're fixing. Do you hear that? That should be coming from that thing. So I'll turn the fan speed up. That's why we're replacing it. Twisty, twisty, twisty. It's moving. I find this encouraging. I think there's a third one back there. All right, I need a break. All right, maybe, just maybe. They look like a match to me. I think I bought the right part. Let's put the new one in. So this screw is an I've never seen this before. It looks like it fits a Phillips head, okay. That's what I used for a bit. It fits an 8mm socket. I use that too. And it fits a Torx, T-O-R-X. So I'm gonna try using that going forward. And it fits a flathead, as you can see, it goes all the way across. So I don't know why a fastener like this exists, but I think it's best for Torx. So I'm gonna try that. Where's the hole? I'm getting close. Oh. Now the hard one. One that I can't see. All right, put the power back in. The step is supposed to be easy. All right, so we have it in place. I'm gonna put the camera up next to it, turn it on, and this is the first listening of this. We're gonna find out whether or not we solve the noise problem. All right, check, check, check. I didn't actually mean to start the car, but let's turn the fan on. Nice! That's totally fixed. That's what I was trying to do. Yay! And the reassembly was no big deal. That's it. Last screw. She's driving. She's driving. I'll take it. All right, hope it's not too windy. I feel super good about getting that done. Like, a lot of people have a certain aversion, like a resistance to doing projects when they don't know what the heck it is they're doing or how to do it or what's next. I just found it one time like 10 years ago in another car and thought, you know what? I can do this because I can do anything. My fellow computer programmers will like sort of recognize, you know, like every time you start a project, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like for a decade, you'll sit there and feel like you're some kind of imposter who just doesn't have a clue, who doesn't know what's next. People think that you can do this job, but you know in your heart that you're like flying by the seat of your pants, figuring out how to do it. That's okay, that's normal. And you can be successful even when you operate in that mode. Want to see my stable floor? Check this out. The stable floor is done. Here, this is what it looks like up close. So it needs a few more days before you can drive on it. Like it's ready to walk on, and it's even technically maybe tomorrow ready to put equipment on, but it's not ready to drive on until a few more days. And since I'm going to be putting my equipment in place with a forklift, putting equipment in place and driving on it is more or less the same thing. But here it is. It's drying. And I think it looks pretty good. All right, we have mail time. My poor wife has a light in one hand and the camera in the other. She's doing her best. Come in closer because of them. Can't zoom a mic. All right, so Jackie says open the letter first. The letter is from Alex. It looks like I opened it already, but I just cut out their return addresses to make it. Do not open while flying. Let's see what we got here. I didn't get that at all, sorry. It says, do not open while flying.
So I'm on your face.
There is a lot of letter here. On the back it says, you may want to find someplace comfortable to sit. Wow, it says open while vlogging, so I assume this is safe to read.
Did it say it, open while vlogging? Are you sure not the box said open while vlogging? Just said open.
It said do not open while flying. You're right. The box says open and vlog. I'll just read this. We may end up editing this. Dear Woody, I was watching your latest vlog and I was sitting at my desk at work. Don't tell my boss. And you had a segment where you were opening mail sent by your subscribers. I always thought it would be really cool if I realized that not only can't read. I always thought it would be really cool that you not only read your subscribers' mail, after all, how hard is that to do, but you actually take the time to think about them and give them the best advice you know how to give. I actually remember watching your first Mail Monday. Part of the way I started following you in the first place. It's your unrelenting commitment to subscribers' lives and your genuine passion for maintaining a dialogue with us that has been inspiring to me because it reflects on the level of empathy that is sadly missing from most of our daily interactions. Wow. Well, my readings picked up. However, despite my appreciation for your commitment to us, I have to admit that I haven't been the best subscriber or fan. I rarely like your videos. I probably commented on 5 videos in the past 5 or 6 years. I've never once played on Woodycraft, and I've watched a grand total of 1 episode of Painkiller already. God damn it!
This is a terrible one.
I just don't have the time or attention span to commit to it.
Time out. You're showing his address on the back of the...
God damn it, Alex! You make this really hard. So, let me see. So to make up for that, I'm writing you a letter. I'm sending it to an address I got off a video that you put up on the internet. Believe me, if there was a less creepy way to do it, to say that, then I would have. I hope you enjoy this, and this isn't some narcissistic shout into the void, hoping that some guy I've only met once will care about what I have to say. But if it is, at least I'll have fun writing it. Oh my God! You guys want to hear this?
That wasn't it, yeah.
Here we go. In that video, the vlog I mentioned in the beginning, you talked about how you like hearing about how your subscribers have grown up with you and how you're now entertaining people who are in an entirely new era of their life. It got me thinking about what I was doing and where I was in life when I first started watching your videos. I think that I was 20 years old. Yes, I turned 26 on June 18th. Oh, well, happy birthday. It just happened. And I just moved back in with my parents after a recently failed college experiment at the College of Charleston, which was how my parents described my failing out of college to their friends. A college experiment. That's kind. In truth, I appreciate their tact because my son got 3 semesters of all Fs and was asked to leave and never come back was and is a much harder thing to hear. Not that it would have been unfair of them to put it that way, I just stopped going to class. I was sleeping all day, was playing video games all night instead of going to class. My parents blamed it on a video game addiction. I never bought that. But it wasn't until later that it would even occur to me that I was depressed. My mother had just gotten out of their 3rd rehab program in 2 years. My father was and is a drunk, and I couldn't call after 5 p.m. without the threat of him not remembering our conversation looming overhead. And it was completely soul-crushingly alone in a city where no one knew me. Of course I was depressed. So I came back home. Specifically, I came back to my dad's house in Charlotte, a house that I had never lived in since I was 5 years old and my parents' divorce was finalized. I came back to live there because my mom told me that if I wanted to come back and live with her, then I'd need to join the military and get out of the house as soon as possible. Despite that fact, I knew my mother better, having spent a lifetime under her roof. The idea of a person who had just gotten out of rehab for both Ambien and alcohol telling me I screwed my life up so badly that my only chance of redemption was through the grace of Uncle Sam's mercy was unappealing. So I didn't go back to her house, and I didn't join the military. Instead, I went to go live with my father, who, while also a drunk, seemed genuinely interested in helping me get back on my feet. I did not have much when I got back to the College of Charleston. I never even thought of living anyway, but paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have a job or any prospects to speak of. I didn't have any sort of direction in my life. What I did have, though, was the computer I'd gotten from my grandparents before I started college, and it was on that computer that I would establish some of the greatest, if not one-sided, friendships of my life. I think that most people would find it strange that I call YouTube content creators friends, but it's really the only way I know how to describe you guys. I know more about your lives than I do some of my in-real-life friends, and I've never had a YouTube personality steal my girlfriend or forget to let my dogs out. In all fairness, none of my in-real-life friends have done these things either, but the point is clear. I feel like I know some of you guys. God. So I started watching videos. I found Hutch first, and then Blame Truth, then Trump, and it just exploded from there. I watched Wings of Redemption quarrel with Hutch about quickscoping in Modern Warfare 2. I watched CNANers introduced to the world of Minecraft. I watched the rise of COD esports, the death of Halo esports. I watched dual commentaries become a fad and then turn into podcasts. I sat on the other side of the screen as a community developed and thrived around me. I saw new industries spring up out of thin air, and I watched people like you change their entire life course in order to be part of those industries and to be closer to the communities that they essentially founded. I saw Hutch go through breakups, a divorce, a gambling addiction, and come out the other side as a better, stronger person. I watched Wings of Redemption desperately try to lose weight and improve himself as a person, only to create an endless prison of failures that I still believe he will eventually break out of. I've seen you and your family go through a struggle with Colin's diagnoses of autism and Tourette's syndrome, with not only a level of grace that I strive to attain, but an unbelievably strong family unit. I've been inspired by what you have accomplished, and I mark myself as lucky that I've gotten to accompany all of you on your journeys over the past 5 or 6 years.
We all have tears in our eyes. I just want to say it right now.
They do. As I followed each of you from afar, my own life progressed at a much less dramatic pace. Like I said before, when I started watching your videos, I had just failed out of college in spectacular fashion. I like to think there are jazz hands involved. And back living at home with my father in Charlotte. I'll be honest, I did mope around for a little while, giving in to my tendencies to stay up all night and hiss at the sunlight like I'd been carrying the ring of power for 500 years. But eventually I did get a job as a patient transporter at Carolina's healthcare system in Pineville, North Carolina. Basically, it was my job to put people in a wheelchair and take them to their tests. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave me some place to be every day and provided me with some much needed structure and an otherwise aimless existence. In the meantime, I made the decision to return to college and enrolled in classes at a local technical college. I eased myself in, taking only 3 courses the first semester.
The dog.
What? Don't ruin this.
The dog walked in and crop dusted us as we're trying to listen.
Worst, least professional camera people ever.
I'm crying here and laughing.
I eased myself in, taking only 3 courses in the first semester in an attempt to figure out if I could be a good student. I was shaky at first, but I made it through. I ended up taking courses to make up for the time I lost, and I even took a full course load the next semester while dedicating myself to a 40-hour work week at the hospital. In a way, I felt like I was punishing myself for my abysmal performance at the College of Charleston. But eventually, I started to like being busy. It kept my mind off how unbelievably sad I was, and it had started to instill a sense of immediacy and work ethic that I never had before. After 2 years at CPCC, I got my associate's degree and transferred to UNC Charlotte. I would have transferred earlier, but because of my grades at his first school, they simply wouldn't accept me without my associates, despite my 3.8 at CPCC. When I got to UNCC, I met with my advisor and I told her I always wanted to go to law school. She thought that it was a great idea until she saw my transcripts, at which point she made a face like biting into a raw onion and told me I had some work to do. I declared a double major in English and poli-sci. After all, if I didn't get into law school, I wanted to make sure that I was completely unemployable and got to work. I started making Dean's List every single semester I was there, earning myself a 3.7 GPA. Then I got a second job at Oral History Transcriber for oral histories given to UNC special collections on the subject of 1960s civil rights in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then I got 2 internships, one for my first year at the college and one for my second year. My first year was as an immigration law intern at a law firm in downtown Charlotte, and my second was a policy research intern for a national congressional campaign. Finally, I took the LSATs and scored in the top 20% of all test takers.
Very good.
Even with that, it was a stretch to say that my chances were good for getting into a decent law school. The reason being that law schools look at your GPA from all institutions when calculating and reporting your GPA. For me, that meant convincing a law school admissions team to admit someone with a 2.2 cumulative GPA. Now, I consider myself a decent salesman. I once convinced someone that I learned how to play Beethoven's Fifth on the bagpipe in just a few hours, and another person that I'd forgotten my bicycle helmet in my other pants. But this was a tough sell. But I sent out my applications anyway, hoping beyond hope that the work I'd done since I was 19 years old would make up for the blips on my resume. Luckily, the good people at the University of South Carolina Law School, an extremely good law school, saw something in me that made them take a chance on me. Fooled them. Now, I'm a second-year law student, nice, at USC, University of Southern California, and an articles editor for the Journal of International Law and Business. I work for a former president of the South Carolina Bar Association and the godfather of criminal defense as a law clerk. My life has performed a metaphorical 180-degree kick melon flip ollie from when I first started watching your Mail Monday video. And here I am watching your latest video, which has calf licking in the title. It seems that your life is taking some interesting turns as well. I like that. But it's not just my professional life that's taken a turn for the better. I got married in January to a woman that I love and respect for so many reasons that I hope I will never stop discovering. I have an actual relationship with my father, even though I still can't call him after 5 p.m. My mother no longer thinks I have a video game addiction and has actually overcome all of her own personal addictions as well. My brother is a vegan, which I suppose is a little out of place in this monologue, but he hasn't had a chance to tell you himself in this letter, so I thought I'd include it here. He's also thinking about taking up CrossFit. That's funny. I watched friends of mine. I think I'm on the last page.
Okay, make sure you hide the... You're not on the last page, are you?
I need to find it. I watched friends of mine get married and start their careers. while taking up hiking as a way to get over my compulsion to hiss at the sunlight. I've become a person that does things rather than a person who is around things that are being done. I am better than I was 6 years ago. I guess the ultimate reason for this letter is to tell you that you were and continue to be a part of that. He gives me too much credit. Even if you weren't making a video with me in mind, your constant advice, guidance, and in some ways companionship has made me feel safe and supported. Even in the worst of times when I wanted to lay on the ground and scream at the stars for daring to shine light into my otherwise dark night, I always knew that I could boot up my computer and my grandparents gave me and watch Woody, the unexceptional gamer, microwave a CD, teach me something about the tech world, or just talk about something other than the oppressive darkness of nights that I am doomed to inhabit. You were there for me and you didn't even know it. I'm sure that several other of your 1.2 million subscribers would join me in telling me that, despite what your tax returns may say, you are not just a father of two. Finally, I told you at the beginning of this letter that we've met before. I don't expect you to remember me, but we were at the same MLG Raleigh event for about 4 or 5 years while I spotted you watching the COD event. We didn't speak long, but I introduced myself to you, thanked you for what you were doing in the YouTube community at the time, and asked if you wanted to get a beer or at some point that weekend. You declined, probably wondering what kind of roofie I was planning to put in your drink, and I went on my way. I just don't like beer. You should offer me lemonades, people. I went on my way. For the record, I would have been a gentleman about inviting you back to my hotel room. This is all to say that I still live in the Carolinas, and if you ever want to take me up on that beer, I'd love to drive up and shake your hand again. Thank you for all the years of entertainment. I look forward to many more. Alex.
Well, I'm crying.
That was amazing.
Okay.
They are both crying.
Yeah, okay. I also have to say that I plan on visiting UNC Charlotte, so maybe we could, catch a lemonade. I want to shake your hand too.
That would be cool. All right. I will ping you when we go to UNC Charlotte. We'll try and schedule a lemonade.
And now for lighter stuff.
Yeah.
I hope this one's funny.
So this one says open and vlog. It's from Raheem. You can thank you, Hope, for zooming in or moving in. And the first thing I noticed is he paid $18 in postage. So thank you.
Where is he from?
California.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know what to expect.
Don't forget we have to give a shout out to Taylor for sending me art supplies.
Oh yeah. Okay, wait.
Oh, another letter time.
So, okay, this divides the letter into, here, hold on, I'll fold it.
Part of vlog and not part of vlog?
See, under here it says not vlog worthy. I haven't checked it out, it might be personal information. My name is Raheem and I'm a 20-year-old student from the San Francisco Bay Area. Been watching you for many, many years now. Love all the work you've been doing lately and appreciate the effort you put into the vlogs. Well, thank you. Well, I saw your address in the vlogs and didn't think much of it, but thought you wouldn't appreciate random brown boxes coming to your doorstep, so I didn't bother sending you anything. Then as I continue your vlogs, it seemed as almost if you wanted people to send you stuff. I think I do. Every time there was a box you didn't recognize, you had this, I hope it's fan mail kind of vibe. I may be completely wrong, but I thought, heck, I might as well send him something he might like. Outside of school, the main thing I spend my time on is photography. I don't do it professionally, but more of a serious hobby. I noticed in your room you have these pictures framed with a similar design to the frames I used for my images. I also noticed that you went to Sacramento, recorded a bit of the Bay Bridge. I hope you found it interesting enough to put in the vlog. Or I guess you found it interesting enough to put in the vlog. I thought that it would be perfect to send you this image of mine. I hope that you like it and it makes the cut for your wall. Okay. So I want to open this without damaging it.
Why would you make it? Just make the cut on his wall. It makes the cut for mine. I'm crazy.
Check it out.
Oh, wow.
That is really cool.
Man, you gotta sell these. Why are you not professional?
Thank you, Raheem. I appreciate it.
Multi-million-dollar deals, got $1 million deal. When I was younger, I would wonder how $1 million feel. And for real, it feel like I ain't even broke a seal. Cause when you drop hits, they want you to pick up the bill. Now my life is in Maryland, my heart is in Chicago. New York state of mind, but out LA, man, that's where I go. When I need to lay this shit down, so much on my mind, that's the reason I'm spitting now. Finally running the